All right. Our next guest has one suggestion for members of Congress working on the rescue bill. Stop what they're doing. This is not the answer. Jeff Miron is senior lecturer of economics at Harvard University, and he's got his own ideas about what needs to happen. Jeff, thanks for coming on. Listen,
My pleasure.
Something's happening right now. We're going to have a vote in a few minutes. So is there any way to stop this freight train?
Well, I think at this point people have probably decided which way they're going to vote. So I'm just hoping that enough people thought about it carefully enough that they'll vote no. But I suspect it actually will pass just barely.
Why vote no? Why do you think this is a bad idea?
It's a bad idea because it does nothing to change the bad policies that were in place that created this situation in the first place. This bill says very explicitly in a whole bunch of places that we should continue the policy of extending mortgage credit to people with undesirable, with very low credit histories and with poor credit characteristics, that we should maintain this goal of making sure everybody can afford a house independent of ability to pay. That's what got us into trouble in the first place, and it's crazy to continue that.
Jeff, it's Dagan McDowell. Broadly speaking, do we need a deep recession in this country? Do we need the government to back away rather than continuing to step in to basically show people that there is risk in the decisions they make?
I think it's important to show people that there's risk. I think that simply letting the process of bankruptcy and consolidation work its way through will help make that point. I don't think it needs to be a deep recession. It may be a mild recession, but I think we do need to show people that they have to think about the consequences of taking on risk. Absolutely.
Jeff, the government's argument in support of this is that they're buying assets on the cheap. Those assets will likely inflate in value. They can then sell them back and make some money. Do you buy that?
I don't think it's convincing, and I don't think it's likely. If it were so easy and so obvious, then there would be lots of private sector people who would want to do it. But we don't see those people stepping forward, so I think these assets are actually just not worth very much.
Well, the argument is, Jeff, I suppose, is that this is something going to restore confidence, and that if a private investor can ride on the coattails of Uncle Sam, that it will bring private money in when it might not come on its own. But do you buy that or not?
I certainly agree that that's the usual argument. At the same time, all of a sudden we're hearing now from all these people that actually this bill isn't going to help. And it's easy to believe that a lot of the damage has already been done, in which case, I mean, clearly there's been a loss of confidence. It's not clear exactly how quickly or effectively this bill will work. So again, why pay out the $700 billion? Why not just let the private forces work their way through the economy?
Because they say, and their argument is, Jeff, what do you think about this? Their argument is that we will go into a major recession, if not a depression, and millions of jobs will be lost in months, basically.
I don't think the evidence supports that. I think there's plenty of reason to think that there will be a slowdown, that there may be a recession, but this talk about depressions or huge contractions are just not supported by either common sense or by past experience.
Is it the old gun-to-the-head approach?
I don't think so. I think this is a very educated kind of approach. I just don't think the evidence points to all these gloom and doom scenarios.
Jeff, what is it? They passed this thing. Let's assume that. What happens to the U.S. economy? What's the big impact long run?
I think the long run is that we end up getting situations like this again and again and again. That's the real problem, is there may be some short-term benefit from a package like this in terms of reducing the chances of recession or the magnitude of recession, but the long-term impact is we're going to have more of these episodes in the future, and that's a terrible trade-off.
All right, Jeff Miron of Harvard University. Jeff, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.